Is The Great Escape from 1963 a masterpiece of cinema, or is it a long drawn out war film? Find out today on Really Old Movies. Welcome to Really Old Movies. I'm your host Harrison Scullin, and today I'll be discussing the film The Great Escape from 1963. Some essential movie details. Steve McQueen did most of his own stunts for this movie. He even tried the infamous bike jump scene, but failed and injured himself, so a stunt double had to be used instead. The set for the prison itself is based on the actual prison that this movie takes place in, and is about as accurate as you could get with it. Alright, so let's get into the plot. So Allied troops are put into a German prison. These particular troops are notorious for escaping prisons, so the idea and thought was keeping all of them in one prison to keep an eye on them. The prisoners come up with an elaborate escape plan requiring all the prisoners to work together, creating clothes, digging the holes, creating tunnels, forging passports, etc. After a few months, they have dug 3 different tunnels. In case one was discovered by the prison guards, they'd still be able to dig and continue digging the others. Eventually, the men are able to finish one of these holes, and they have a July 4th celebration, but they were careless and not paying attention to the prison guards discovering one of these holes. The crew is devastated since this hole was the most complete, so they continued work on one of the other ones. The crew is devastated since this hole was completed and the most complete hole, so they continued working on another one that was just as close. Once again, the hole is made ready and the men start sneaking out. As they're escaping, however, prison guards discover what's going on, and only about 50 of them escape, with over 200 remaining. Now, of these 50 men, they're either brought back, killed, or some of them are super lucky and actually escape. And the film ends with most of the men going back to the jail and discovering that a good chunk of them either escaped or were killed. Alright, so now we'll get into my thoughts on the film. So the plot, I gave a 4 out of 5. I thought it was an amazing plot. I really loved the structure and the layout of the movie. And unlike the last one, this one went by really quick. I didn't even realize it was about 3 hours long. So that was just a testament to how great the story was. So the acting, I gave a 5 out of 5. I love Steve McQueen. He was great. He was a lot better in this movie than when he was in The Blob. Now, granted, he was kind of a young actor in that, but he's definitely great in this movie. I loved it. I also liked the actors who played the Nazi leaders. I think they were great too. Kind of believable as a real threat and menace to the prisoners. And I also like Charles Bronson. He's not a huge part of the film, but I really like him as an actor as well. I thought he was great. In regards to directing, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I thought he had some great coordination of the actors, and the set was really, really cool. So I love the attention to detail he had for this movie. In regards to cinematography and special effects, I also gave a 4 out of 5. I thought it was amazing. Loved the landscape surrounding the prison. I thought it was a great location that they were able to use. And it's a great looking movie. Now, I saw it on DVD, but it still looked really good. All right, in regards to music, phenomenal. Really fit the movie, really set the stage and the mood. And it was kind of upbeat, but it was also somber in parts that it needed to be. So I think it was really good and really great at telling a good story. All right, so tallying that up, that brings my Letterboxd score to a 4.4 out of 5, which I will put at a 4 out of 5. I highly recommend this movie. I think it's a much better movie than The Longest Day was. This is a much better World War II movie, in my opinion. But yeah, those are my thoughts and feelings on The Great Escape from 1963. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Make sure to subscribe to our Instagram and Facebook at Really Old Movies, where I discuss details about the week's particular film. New episodes are released Saturdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. All right. Well, thank you so much. This has been Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin. Take care.